Thank you for the intro. Uh, Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Guten Tag. Boa tarde. My name is Vitória. I'm a 17 years old girl from Rio, Brazil. I'm also a Brazilian youth ambassador and a youth congresswoman. And today I'm here to interview an amazing person. She's an actress, she's an activist, and today is also her birthday. Please welcome Nomzamo Mbatha.
Yay! Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Nomzamo. How's it going?
I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm so happy I finally get to be a part of Girl Up. We were supposed to have one last year in Rwanda, and I was really excited about it, actually in Uganda. But I am so elated that I get to have this conversation with you and we get to peel the layers. How are you?
Fine. It's a pleasure to have you here. I have a lot of questions for you, but I'm only going to ask some of them because our time isn't that big. My first question for you is, how did your journey as a storyteller influence your journey as an activist?
My journey as a storyteller, I guess because I've always been curious about people, and curious about people from all walks of life since I was a little girl. It's so funny. Today, somebody was sending me a message saying, "We all thought you were going to be the first female president of South Africa," because I've always been such a passionate voice for humanity and for people. And so I guess that kind of also married into me being passionate about telling stories and telling human stories, which makes me so I guess the empathy that I've always had and continue to have is the very thing that pushes my needle forward and gives me my true compass.
Amazing. You're amazing. You know that. And talking about South Africa, like in South Africa and Brazil and many countries around the world, girls facing many barriers when receiving an education, both on individual and systemic levels. So, what's the first step to dismantling these barriers?
I think number one, the first step to dismantling these barriers is to identify them. What are these barriers? What do they look like? What does it look like to marginalize a girl child around the world, right? And I think once we're able to identify these things, we're able to then break those systems down. Because once we're not able to actually face them and actually point them out and I guess verbally point them out, we can't truly make the change that we need to make. I mean, you look at my work with refugees across the African continent. Half of the refugee children have the opportunity to go to secondary school, but only less than half, 27% of those are girl. Actually, not even less than half, but 27% of those girls, of those school children, are girl childs that actually have the opportunity to go to secondary school. And so for me, it's very important for us to, as I always say, to lift the lid of invisibility when it comes to the systems that truly that are built against the girl child.
It's very important to talk about that, and that's exactly what my next question is about. So, women and girls in remote refugee camps are specifically vulnerable to education inequality, just as you said. And based on your experience as a UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador, what are ways youth can actually help make a difference?
First of all, I'm very proud and really inspired by organizations and companies like P&G because they fund systems and they fund programs that are there to assist the girl child and to assist those who are most marginalized across the world. And so I guess it's a call to private sector to assist governments because we know that we can't fully depend on governments to truly be there for the systems that they say that they're going to advocate for and systems that they're going to put money into and truly make a change with. And so it's really a rallying call for me. I always want to, even right now in this moment, to push that rallying call to private sector to pick up their tools as well and truly be a part of changing the way society and the landscape is faced against girls and is faced against the girl child. And of course, for women as well. With my work with refugees, I go across different refugee camps, and you meet so many women who are so empowered. But because we come into a world that teaches us that we are economic burdens and that we are not economic assets, we're never given the tools, we're never given the access, we're never given the opportunity to truly also be in the room, but also have a seat at the table. And so, being born as a girl child, we're born into disempowerment already, which is why I absolutely love the Girl Summit, because that disempowerment is being broken down. All those barriers, all that ceiling that we were taught we have above us, and that a girl child can only go as far as this, is non existent. We choose to see the world in the way that it should have always been, which is an equal world, a world that doesn't have any inequities, which is an injustice to all those who are discriminated against and are marginalized.
Thank you. Your work as an activist is totally amazing and necessary. And also, talking about your job, your work at the Nomzamo Lighthouse Foundation, your mission is to lift the lid of invisibility on marginalized communities. I live in a marginalized community. So, how can each of us do the same on an individual level?
Oh, so many people always look at the world's problems and they think, hmm, what is little old me going to do to make a change? But there's so many little of us who are our own little rivers. And those little rivers will lead to the greater ocean, which is the greater good and the greater change. And so wherever you are, you don't have to have the grandest stage. You don't have to have the biggest budget. If you have access to five bright, brilliant people that you know in your community who need the extra push, and because you have the access and you have the resources and you have the knowledge, help those people out. You never know what that person will become. So that's why for me, I truly am an advocate and a believer in community leaders, small community leaders, wherever you are, whatever you call a community. It could be your building, it could be your school, it could be the coffee shop that you like to frequent every day. In fact, it could be your township or whichever favela community that you have access to. Wherever you have the access to make a change, I truly am an advocate. Do it. Do it. All those small actions lead to the greatest good and the greatest change. And that's how you lift the lid of invisibility. Sometimes, really big things can come from small places and small people.
Yes, I totally agree. That's why the grow up clubs exist, right? We can make a
Yes.
lot of things with our friends, with our family, with our communities. So
Yeah.
it's a totally amazing work. And also, I want to ask, how does focusing on the intersection of girls' empowerment and education help provide long-lasting societal change?
Well, first of all, again, it goes back to addressing what those barriers are and addressing the issues that we have faced for a very long time as girl children. I remember even growing up, my options for what I wanted to become and what I wanted to do with my life were very limited. And they were limited because of what I was told. But in the words of Thomas Sankara, who was a great revolutionary on the African continent, he said, there is no true revolution without the liberation of women. There's no true revolution. Nobody can ever say that we are proud to live in the world that we live in until women are free and until women are liberated to become whatever we want to become. Until we are liberated to do what we came here to do, which is to truly shape this generation better than we found it.
Yes, I totally agree. It's about it. That's all about it. And I
Thank
have one last question for you related to your motivations of being a leader and activist. So, what inspired you to advocate for girls' education? Why should others be inspired to use their voice to join the movement?
I'm inspired by girls' education because I look at so many of the other movements that have had women leading it, that have been a revolution. And I was born into a world, yes, as disempowered, yes, disenfranchised, but I was also able to look around at the women who were given the opportunity and what they were able to do. And so, for as long as we continue to give each other opportunities and give women opportunities, there's so much that we can do in terms of shaping this generation. And so, it inspires me to become something. It inspires me to pass the torch, as I do with my foundation. I pass the torch and I say, I will be the building bridge. So I really, really am excited about Girl Summit, the Girl Up Summit, and so many other summits that exist and programs that exist because they open the door to the access that you guys have. You have access to a revolutionary like Malala, a revolutionary like Amina Mohammed from the United Nations. Having that access to women who can truly be enlightenments because of the work that they've done, but also having access to girl up leaders as well across the world, like yourself, that we can be able to have these conversations and inspire other girls to truly see the light that lives inside of them and do the unimaginable.
Revolutionaries like you. Nomzamo, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you all for watching us. It was amazing to have you here. Thank you all and keep watching Grow Up Summit of 2021.